Hello everybody, today we're going to find the limits that exist. So given the following, limit of f of x as x approaches 2 equal to 4, the limit of g of x as x approaches 2 equal to -2, the limit of h of x as x approaches 2 is equal to 0, find the following limits. Let's take a look at part A. The limit of f of x plus 5g of x as x approaches 2 equal to what? So we're going to be using here the properties of limits. We're going to use what we call the sum law. The sum law says that I can separate this. So the limit of f of x as x approaches 2 plus the limit of 5g of x as x approaches 2. So the limit of the sum is equal to the sum of the limits. Okay, this is what we call the sum law, one of the properties of limits. Now what we can do, we can take the 5 out. That's the constant multiple law. So then that will give us the limit of f of x as x approaches 2 plus 5, the limit of g of x as x approaches 2. So here we're using the constant multiple law. We can take out the constant. And now what we can do, we already have this, right? The limit of f of x as x approaches 2 is 4 plus 5 times the limit of g of x as x approaches 2, which is -2. And that will give us 4 plus 5 times -2 minus 10, which is -6. So this is the first example. Now let's take a look at part B. Now the limit of g of x cubed as x approaches 2, what is this? Well, we can use the power rule. The power rule states that you can take the limit in the inside here. So this is the same as the limit as x approaches 2 of g of x raised to the 3rd power. Okay, this is the power law. Take the limit in, raise it to the 3rd power. We already have this. This is given to us, and that is equal to -2. So this is -2 cubed, which is equal to -8. All right, now let's take a look at one more problem here. The limit of square root of f of x as x approaches 2. So now here what we have is square root. So we can use the root law. This is the same as equal to the limit, the square root of the limit of f of x as x approaches 2. This is one of the limit laws, the root law, and that is equal to the square root, the limit of f of x as x approaches 2, that was given to us, which is equal to 4 here. So that's the square root of 4. Square root of 4 is equal to 2. Okay, now one more problem. Let's take a look at part D. The limit as x approaches 2 of 3 times f of x over g of x. I can use here quotient law, the quotient law. That's equal to the limit of the numerator, which is 3f of x as x approaches 2, divided by the limit of g of x as x approaches 2. I'm using the quotient law. Okay, and now we can use the constant multiple law. We can take out the 3 here, and that will give us equal to the limit, 3 times the limit of f of x as x approaches 2, divided by the limit of g of x as x approaches 2. And now we have 3 times the limits, 3 times the limit of f of x as x approaches 2 is equal to 4. Here we have it here, it's equal to 4, divided by the limit of g of x as x approaches 2. Now if you recall, the limit of g of x as x approaches 2 is -2. So that's divided by -2. You can multiply if you want to. but you can, if you want to divide 4 divided by 2 is -2. 3 times -2 is -6. Okay. I hope you find this video helpful. Have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.